Michel.
BBC. Three Counties Radio. Now, the police watchdogs passed a file of evidence to prosecutors to decide whether a Metropolitan Police officer should be charged over the fatal shooting of an unarmed black man. Now, Chris Kaba, who was 24, died from a single shotgun wound in London last September. His family has told the BBC it welcomes the decision but wants the officer to face criminal charges. Joining me now is Maurice Mcleod from UNJUST, which challenges discrimination within the criminal justice system. Good afternoon, Maurice.
Good afternoon, Babs.
Thank you for your time. So the police watchdog has passed this case onto the CPS. How significant is this in the development of this case?
This is a big deal. Because it doesn't, it's not often that the IOPC actually makes this step, which is one step closer to there being a criminal case against somebody. So, it does matter. It's taken 7 months to get here, though. But that's what's a shame. It has taken quite a long time since this young man's life was taken away.
Maurice, what has changed then? What factors have brought this to this stage now over the 7 months?
So I really think that the pressure brought about by both Chris's family, who've been incredibly determined while dignified, both grieving their son but also demanding answers. But also the thousands of supporters that they've had, the groups that have come out, to support them, like the Forefront Project and Sister Space and United Friends and Families, all sorts of black-led, often community groups have come out and said, look, this is just too much. We need a proper answer this time.
Now, for people that are not familiar with this story, because there'll be lots of people that aren't, can you just explain what happened to Chris last September?
Well, obviously, we're hoping that this ends up being the subject of a court case. So I'll speak in careful terms.
Yes.
But basically, he was unarmed, 24 years old, unarmed, in a car, was stopped by police and was shot and died, basically. Now, there's sort of body cam footage, and the police have sort of said all sorts of things about they weren't looking for him. That could be anybody. That literally could be any black person. Which is why, I mean, any death at the hands of the people whose job it is to protect us is going to strike a chord. But this one in particular, because, as I say, he was unarmed and the police weren't looking for him. So, 7 months later, we've now got to the place where the independent police commission have looked at it and sort of said, okay, we think there's enough here for the Crown Prosecution Service to have a look and see whether they think something criminal's happened.
Now, the family have said that they want the officer to face criminal charges. Do you think that's likely now, then, Maurice?
I really hope so. I mean, without saying anything about how that case would come out, at least in court, the family would get to hear the truth. They'd get to examine why this young man's dead. He would have been a father. Why are they growing up without him? So I really do hope that this ends up in court, so that we can get to the truth. So that if we can't have trust and confidence as the Met say they want us to have, unless we've got transparency and accountability. We need to sit to hear what happens and to get to the truth.
Do you think, in light of the Casey report and the structural racism that it pointed out within the Met Police, do you think it's really important that the CPS now move quickly?
I think it's always been important that they move quickly, but I think in light of the Casey report, they will have to. I think all eyes are on them, and for once, it's not just the black community. All eyes are on them, and so it feels like one of those cases where they will. I'm hopeful, pull out all the stops and not kick this into long grass, as is often the case, and hope that it sort of just goes away and the anger dissipates.
Do you think Do you think this is different, Maurice, than others maybe that you've come across before? Do you feel that what's happening now, maybe that it is gathering momentum and it might be a game changer, this one?
I'm hesitant to say that because I feel like I've been here a number of times. It does feel different. Since the BLM uprisings in 2020, there's been a growing sense that, you know what, we're not just going to pass things off anymore. We're not just going to sort of take things lying down. So it does feel, and as I say, with the Casey review, with the attention that's on the Met Police, with the killing of Sarah Everard and all sorts of other things that are coming to light, I think there's a lot of attention on the police at the moment. So that's why I'm hopeful that this time is different and we do actually get to justice.
Well, that's what the family want, don't they? And that's what should happen here. Maurice, it's really good to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.